All right, welcome to this week's webinar on the job board, connecting talent and opportunities. My name is Joel Bayless, and I'm a customer success coach here with Member 365, and I'm all about seeking potential and making it a reality. So with that in mind, if you have any questions throughout the webinar, just put them in the Q&A at the bottom of the screen there. You are muted and I can't see you, so I won't be able to see that you have any questions, so just make sure you're putting them in that bottom Q&A for me, please. And this webinar will be recorded and put on YouTube like the rest of our webinars. If you missed this webinar or you want to go back and review it, you'll be able to do so on YouTube. In this webinar, we'll be looking at configuring the job. We'll be looking at configuring the job settings, how to create a job as an admin, as a member, and as a non-member, and then how to review those job board postings, how to process payments, and then any best practices and questions that we have at the end. Without further ado, let's get into it here. So in the member portal, the first thing you're going to want to do is go to configuration here. Just make sure that the job board is turned on. So when we scroll down, we'll see that it is active. If it's not active, you're going to see this red button with the disabled logo here. If you click that button and click enable, then the job board is active and you'll be able to use it. So if you go over to modules and jobs, you'll see that it is active, and then we can go to settings here. And now we can go through these settings one by one just to go over what you can do to configure the job board here. So for post duration, you can set your post. We recommend 30 to 90 days, so people have to pay for another job posting if it goes beyond that time. If you're not using job postings, then you can set it as long as you like, 365 days, whatever works best for you. Make sure you're saving it. And then you can either go back to the job board settings or go back to modules, jobs, settings. And now we can look at financial management. So click on the manage button here. And now how do you want to accept payment? Credit card, check. Do you want to accept e-transfer or ACH? Of course, the credit cards will be processed automatically. The check and e-transfer will need to be processed manually. And we'll show you how to do that in a few minutes. Then you're going to set up the fee structure for your member pricing. So if you just want a flat fee for all of the categories, select flat fee. If you have tiered categories with different benefits, you can set different pricing here as well, but we'll use the flat fee for now. And then is it available to non-members? You say yes if you want non-members to be able to post, put in the non-member price. Maybe your member price is $0 and your member price is higher than that, or you have a non-member price with a member price with a higher non-member price just to incentivize membership further. And then if there is no price, but you still want to set an invoice, then just click the yes button there. And then finally, the sales tax settings. So do you want it set by member location, default tax settings, or do you want them off, or some custom settings? So we'll leave it at member location and then save those settings. And we'll hit back this time. And then we can go to the categories field. And here we have the different types of jobs are, maybe executive level, management, in the science department, HR, sales, whatever job categories make sense for your organization, you can put them in just by adding a category. And then the position statuses. So we'll manage this one. Is it a contract position, full-time, part-time, temporary, that kind of thing? Again, whatever works best for your organization. And then the regions. So if you're within a city, maybe you have northwest, east, and south regions. If you're a national organization, maybe you have state regions or provincial regions. If you're international, maybe you've got country regions, whatever makes the most sense for you. And then the salary types. Are they hourly, wages, yearly salaries, volunteer positions that are unpaid? You can, again, put in your custom salary types. And now in the job posting management, we'll be able to configure a lot of the settings here. So if a non-member contact creates a job, are you going to create a non-member portal account for them? And we do recommend doing this because that means that they'll be able to log in and manage their job posting. They won't need to send a message to the admin team and ask them to do it, just taking off some of that admin work. Are the job postings subject to approval? With this on, you're not going to get bot applications. You're going to be able to block bot applications before they reach the job board, and you can make sure that no one is able to post something that you don't want to be on the job boards. You get to approve it first. And then you allow modifications to job postings. This means that the members can log in and modify the postings themselves rather than needing to bug your admin team again or contact your admin team again. And are these modifications subject to approval? So if you turn this on, they're not going to be able to create a job post that you approve and then completely change it without your approval again. And then you want to show the view count on job posts so we can see how many times that job has been viewed, and allow members to delete their posts. And so once they hire someone and they're no longer hiring, they're able to delete it again without needing to contact your admin team. Do you want to make the salary field mandatory? This way, all jobs will have a salary. If not, you can leave it off. And then do you want any admin notified when job listings are created? If you want to put in multiple, then you put a comma and then the other job postings. And then you can choose your default image. So all job postings are going to have an image. People can choose to put an image, usually their logo in here. But if they don't put an image, then you can select a default image. If you want to change it, you just go to choose files and select it from your images. And then do you want a single payment gateway, or do you want your payment gateways based on geographical location? So we'll save that. And then we'll go back again. We're almost done with the settings here. We've got the email templates. So these are all the emails that are automatically going to be sent out relating to job board posts. So when a post is approved, denied, or published, for example, if we want to edit these emails, we just click on it and then we can edit the email. Anything between the squiggly brackets is going to be a merge tag. So this is going to personalize the email for the recipient as well as for the job that's being posted. So don't take those merge tags out if you want to keep that personalization in there. Same with the on-screen messages. So this is going to be telling people what to do, the instructions when they post in a job, and then some other notifications related to when their posts require approval or are approved, that sort of thing. And same thing, we can edit the language here to reflect your organization's language. And then finally, the website integration. So this is where you can grab the iframe embed that you'll put behind a button on your public facing site. So people on the public facing or on the public site can log into the job portal, see the jobs available. And there's a different link for non-members to be able to post, which I'll show you in a bit. So you just put that on your website and then they're able to be accessed from the public facing site. Now, as an admin, to post a job, we're going to go to modules, jobs, and post new job. And then we're going to say who we want to post the job on behalf of. So maybe we're posting it on behalf of ourselves, or in this case, I'm going to post on behalf of Fred Rogers. I click Fred Rogers, and now I get all the job information. I'm going to go account executive 3, because I've already done a few account executives. Say the company, member 365, put in the description. This is a account exec position, and any other information you need to put in the description here. And then we'll put in the city, country, province, region. So we'll say Northern Ontario job here. What category? Let's say this is a management job and it is a full-time job paying between 150 and 200,000 every year. And then we don't want to use the default logo. So we're going to upload a logo, choose a file, and we'll choose the Member 365 logo. And now we can see that it's loaded there. And now part 2 of the applications. If you want to have an apply now button that directs them to an email to apply to, you put the email address in here. If you want to direct it to a website, then you put the website in here. So let's use Member 365. And if you don't want a button, then you just select none. And you might not want a button because in the description you say apply to the job by clicking this email, or apply to the job by going to this website directly in the description. So you don't need a button to also do that. So we'll save this job and then it's going to confirm that we are ready to post it. So we'll confirm it there. Now that job has been created. So let's go to the member portal here. And we're going to go to the member portal as myself, Joel Bayless. So we'll see in the top that we are in my iteration of the member portal. And if I just go to the jobs tab here, I can now search the job bank And the job that was just posted will be in the job board here. So as it loads, we will look for account executive 3. There we go. So we can click on that job, get the description and all the information we put in here. And then as we can see, we click that apply now button and it takes us to member365.com. We can go back to search and see any other jobs we want to apply for. But now if a member wants to create a job posting, let's take a look at what that looks like. So we'll return to the CRM and I'm going to impersonate Fred Rogers. So the way we made the job the first time, it's not going to charge Fred because it was an admin that made it. And there's also not going to be an approval process because it's an admin making it. So it assumes that it's approved because it's the admin doing it. But if we wanted to do it in a way that the job does need to be approved or we do want payment, then we can impersonate Fred. And of course, Fred can just log into the portal and do this himself. So we're going to impersonate him. And now we're going to be taken into the portal. And as we look in the top right corner, we'll see that it's Fred Rogers member portal that we're looking at now. Same thing, we'll go to jobs and Fred can search the job bank just like we did, or he can post and manage jobs. So when we click on that post and manage jobs, we're going to be able to see all of the jobs that have already been created by Fred or for Fred right here. And he can click on one and update it with any updated information. Maybe the salaries change, maybe the descriptions change, that sort of thing. Or he can come in and he can post a new job. So he clicks on that post and manage, and then on the green button here, post job, he'll click on that, and he'll be taken to a page that's very similar to what we saw on the back end as an admin. So job title, let's go account executive 4. Company name, let's use a different company this time. Put in a quick description. And now I'm just going to quickly fill this out. So the information here might not make perfect sense, but just so you can see what it looks like when Fred makes a job. Again, salary range, salary type, and let's use the default logo for this one. So we're not going to upload a logo, and we don't need a button this time, so we'll say none. Now Fred can confirm his order, and this is going to take him to the payment page. He's going to see the member pricing because Fred's a member, so he'll see the $25 fee. And he can pay by credit card or check. So let's, in this case, say he's paying by check. So he confirms and pays. And now he's going to send the check off to you to approve. So you'll be able to now approve the job and process the payment. And once both of those things are done, the job will show up in the job board. So now we can see this is where he is to send the check to. He can download the receipt if he wants, or the automated email is also going to include the receipt. So now let's see how to process the payment and approve the job posting. So we'll return to the CRM and we'll see that we're logged in as me now. So now we can go back to modules, jobs, but this time we're going to go to manage jobs rather than posting a new one. And now we can see all of the active jobs here, and we'll see that account executive 4 isn't in there yet. We can see all the expired jobs and the jobs pending approval. So this is where the account executive 4 has showed up. We want to approve it, so we'll just click on that job. We'll review it, make sure all the information looks good, and now we can approve that job. Fred will get an email saying his job has been approved. It'll now show up in the active job posting. We can see decline jobs in this tab. If we were to decline Fred's posting, this is where it would show up, and then we can see any of the archive jobs as well. But Fred still hasn't officially paid for his job because we hadn't got the check. So let's make sure we're processing that payment. So we'll go to the financial, manage invoices, and we'll see that invoice for Fred right here. Click on the invoice itself. You can see the job here. And oops, it looks like I clicked the wrong one. Let's try again here. We've got this one that is still pending payment. Sorry about that. So we click on that one. This is the account executive 4. Now we can process that payment. It was a check. So we put in the check number, any comments if we need to, and then we can continue and send email or skip email. And now that job has been approved and paid for. Now let's say a non-member wants to create a job posting, they'll need a specific URL. So you can put this URL behind a button on your website, and we're working on getting it into the admin portal so you don't have to remember it, but for now you will have to remember it. So let's just pull that page up and give me 1 second here. Here we go. So this is a non-member application or posting application. And so you'll have your typical URL and then slash public capital I N J slash job capital B board slash submit capital S step 1. And this will be shown at the end of the webinar as well. So you'll be able to access that easily. And then it's basically the exact same. And I'm not going to actually go through this whole process because we've already seen it twice. But what I will show you is this part 3 billing information. This shows up for non-members because this is needed for the tax information as well as collecting some information that's going to be included in their profile on Member 365. But of course, they're not going to get a membership. They're just going to get access to the non-member portal, and none of this information is going to be shown on the ad. So then they'll confirm order and go through the same steps as Fred did. But that's basically it for the job board. We've seen how admin members and non-members can apply. We've seen how to approve. We've seen how to process the payments. So all that's left is just to talk about the best practices and any questions that we've got. Jump back to the presentation here. So in terms of best practices for the job board, one is pricing. We already talked about this, offering member versus non-member pricing. This is going to incentivize membership or moving into higher tiers if you do have that set up. And then the post duration, we recommend setting them for 30 to 90 days, particularly for paid posts, but even for unpaid posts, it's good for people to be going back every 3 months to make sure that the posting is still valid and still updated. And then create a portal account for non-members. Like I said earlier, you want to be doing this so that people can log in. Even if they're not a member, they can log into the non-member portal and they'll be able to manage their own postings without needing to eat up some of the time of your admin team. And then finally, giving non-member posting access using this link. So this is just re-highlighting the link that you'll need to use to be able to give non-members access to post to the job board. That is it from me. So now we'll just take a minute to see if we have any questions. I'm going to take a look at the Q&A. Give me 1 second here. All right, it doesn't look like we have any questions. Just give it a minute. And if you do have any questions, you can always submit a ticket or reach out to us via chat if you've got that turned on for your organization. And we're happy to answer questions there as well. If we don't have any questions right now, thank you so much for coming to the job board webinar, and we hope that we'll see you next week. Have a great week.